There's something with my intuition that is pushing me to reject the gym culture. It's not the fact that people are working out. I think that working out is good. Moving your body, getting your body moving is good. Um, I'm not against that. Not at all. It's just the social pressure of people just saying on the internet, which I think I probably should just start limiting myself on the internet, but it's hard because there really isn't any communities outside of that. Considering I'm old, you know what I mean? So it's hard to. Well, am I just gonna go fish? I don't like to fish. I don't like to fix cars. It's like. Anyway, so it's 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 the pressure of just go to the gym, bro. Like, but why? Now, I'm all for health reasons. I think that moving your body, it's very good whether you go to the gym or you're just, toiling in the fields or whatever. But this whole like pressure that it just seems so like it seems so phony. It seems so fake. Just go to the gym. Just go to the gym. And I just got done listening to some Harvard professor. And now we could be in the midst of evolution of humans, which we probably are, in some type of a transhuman thing. But why people, the way people moved around back in the day is completely different than gym culture. Um, so when you go to the gym, you're basically working on all these different types of muscles, which you really don't need, per se. Like you can go without them. Like you don't need. It seems like it's just more for superficial appearance reasons to go to the gym nowadays rather than actual health. And that's why I think that's where I really start getting I feel like pushing back because I am for health. I advocate for fasting and stuff like that. But he was basically saying, humans uh rest time was more scarce than it is now. People had to, when they moved around with purpose. It wasn't just go to the gym, bro, with, it was, I'm gonna go hunt, I'm gonna go chase down this deer on my feet. Now, this is way back in the day. I'm gonna have more endurance than this deer and chase it down for miles, for hours until it tires out for the food. That was the purpose. What's the purpose now? Which delayed gratification is good, but it's like we feel we need to have results now too. And that's what the gym doesn't really offer, a lot of people. And that's why you see a lot of people kind of getting overweight, and you see more of a, um all it's essentially, short burst activity, and then the rest of your day is just sedentary lifestyle. You just basically sit and lay around, which, if you're like really high intense training, which is fine, and I'm not against that, for like if you're in front of a camera, you make money off your physique. I just think that, like, you don't have to have the perfect body being just a regular person like me. And it just irritates me, that these people keep pushing, go to the gym, go to the gym. And it's just like, dude, I work 8 hours a day. 40 hours a week now. Before, so it's like, what do you do for work? Oh, you sit there? Of course. Like, if you're just sitting there and you make all your money just by using your brain, well, I use my body, okay? I have to use my body to make money. You people use your brain. That's fine. That's cool. So, like, yeah, you have to move around because you're just sitting probably most of the time. Well, I'm not. And, the older I get, I had more energy and I was more enthusiastic about building my body when I was younger and gaining muscle. And I should be more enthusiastic about gaining muscle now because it is good to have muscle. It is good. Muscle mass is good. They're saying it's really healthy for, your quality of life. And I'm sure I will get back into the gym culture or going to the gym, bro. Lifting weights, when I don't have to work these physically demanding, repetitive jobs. It's just like I'm already doing something repetitive for my job. The last thing I want to do is go do more repetitive shit on my own free time. And that's where it comes down to. And these people who are like Phil Labonte, he gets in front of the camera and he's like, go to the gym, bro, when he's at the gym. It's like, what do you do for work? Oh, you talk like I am talking, but I do it for free because, like, obviously I'm not successful. But you aren't, I guarantee you, if you were living my life and you're doing these repetitive tasks, you would be having the same mindset as me, especially getting older like me, and it's like, what's the purpose? I don't like being fat. I don't like having the fat on me. But the Harvard professor was basically saying it's better to move throughout the day, and instead of just going to like a hour-long training session and then you sit down the rest of it. No, you need to throughout the day. And that's why, they say that like 10,000 steps is pretty good a day. You get 10,000 steps, you moved your body around enough. You don't, just being a regular person like me, I don't need to have a perfect body like these celebrities. For me, even if I could, I wouldn't want to have like a Ron Coleman type of body, I mean, it looks cool, it looks intimidating. I definitely wouldn't want to fight somebody who has got a huge built up body like that, but I don't find myself getting into any type of really altercations when it comes to that. And another thing I was thinking too with these people, it feels like so superficial, right? A lot of these people who have built up bodies, they've taken performance enhancing drugs as well to build up their bodies. And I think a lot of women are falling into this as well. So hypothetically, I made a video talking about an EMP or a blackout. If we had a prolonged blackout, if we go into a Mad Max situation, I think I would have a better chance of survival than these lunkheads with these huge muscles, because I'm more natural, right? So like my body still produces its own testosterone, since I haven't ever taken steroids or anything like that. And by the way, I think from what I'm hearing, it's alleged that Cavicular, one of these, these looks maxing guys. There's another one that he got his wig snatched off of him. He's like bald and he's got makeup on. These guys are wearing makeup and stuff now. It's just so weak. These seem so weak. But if we did go into that type of scenario, like a Mad Max scenario, they're going to be all out of whack because they won't have access to their drugs. They want, and their body isn't forming the testosterone the way it was. If you look at these bodybuilders, when they get to be older, they look way different. Look at Ron Coleman. He destroyed his body. He had these surgeries and everything. Now he's back and trying to lift and stuff. It's like, dude, he looked great. He looked like a monster. But he destroyed his body by doing that. Lex Luger, I don't know his real name, but you look at these old wrestlers and you see like they looked great when they were at their peak. And if you're making a ton of money, if you're making a ton of money off of your body or whatever, like that's one thing. But like I said, I just don't think it's really a big deal if you're just a regular peasant like me. I think it's a good thing to be strong, and I'm all about being strength and stuff like that. But the look of it just seems completely overblown. A lot of these guys, they probably have fake muscles as well. But it's just like, it's so fake. If we went to a Mad Max scenario, I would last longer because their muscles would basically deteriorate because they would still have strength, but they would start losing it and their body would be all out of whack because of their hormones would be out of whack. When mine would be probably thriving in that situation because that would be all about, sink or swim, like true survival. I'm trying to survive now in this world, and it's more about stress or mental. But in a Mad Max scenario, it would be all about physical and smart. You need smarts too, like common sense and everything like that. But it would be a really physical world compared to right now, which is, oh, what do we do for our hobbies now? Oh, we doom scroll. Oh, we scroll. That's what we do for our hobbies. This is like, think about that. What do you do for some of your hobbies? I scroll. That's what we're at right now. We're basically in the Matrix. And I was, everybody does it. Everyone has phones. So like everyone's scrolling. You know what's kind of interesting too is there are artificial intelligent bots on these social media sites. So like when you're interacting with somebody, this is why I like a digital ID. People are like, oh, digital ID. Okay. So I called out Peter Schiff. He basically was like, this guy is rich, right? And he's sitting here on a Sunday. Rich man has all the access to whatever, and he's sitting here looking at the price of gold on a Sunday night. And it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, what? Don't you have grandkids? Don't you have a wife to hang out with? And you're sitting here looking at gold prices, like and somebody's like, oh, well, look at your post. You replied to his tweet on Sunday night. It's like, yeah, but the thing is, it's like it's just because like you're counting your money, like you're always counting your money, and it's like, dude, it's so like you have nothing else but thinking about money. That's it. Your whole life is thinking about money. It just seems so fucking sad to me, and that's basically what I was trying to convey with that. Not the fact that he was sitting on Twitter on a Sunday night, but the fact that he's like, and the reason why I bring this up is because I posted the meme of Scrooge McDuck swimming in the vault of gold coins, and it was a bot, and the bot was like, I think it was like that was just like a metaphor or something like that. The image you put, it was like, it wasn't human that responded to me. A real human would have seen like would have understand, like, connected the dots of and this, everything was perfect. Like, the grammar was perfect. There was no mistakes in with the spelling. All the punctuation was completely perfect. And it makes me think, dude, I think that AGI is already here. I think that, like, a lot of the internet is basically just bots. And that's why that's why it feels like we live in a simulation as well, because it just feels fake. Everything just feels fake and phony, man. Like, and I don't know, man. Maybe I'm off my rocker, but my intuition just tells me, like, to push back against the gym culture bros. And like I said, I like health. I think health is good. I don't want to see a bunch of overweight people. I think that that's bad. But it just seems like they don't live in reality. And then I had a couple, like, I had this one guy, and he's like, I'm a I basically was talking smack that he's rich, and uh, their muscles aren't the same as mine. They're superficial because, like, they use performance enhancers, and you know, base. I'm not a farm guy, but, like, the farm guy, the gym is a simulation of work. Okay, that's what the gym is. What is he doing up there? I think he's getting ready for work, which is cool. But it's like, the it's when somebody's throwing bales of hay, like, they're developing strength, and it's more natural than just doing the repetitive working out the concentrated muscle. Like, that, I'm all for. I just think that it just seems like it's overblown. You know what I mean? It just doesn't feel what it used to feel like. And it could have something to do with my perception of things now. I don't know. I don't enjoy the things I used to enjoy. I was going to the gym in Michigan. So as soon as I got there, when I got back in, like, 2023, I got the gym membership right away. And at first, I was, like, really all about the gym. Like, I was going every day. I started getting back into shape. Um, this is probably I'm heavy right now. So before I left, I was heavy too. Before I left for Missouri and moved to Michigan, I'm about the same weight right now. And then I moved on to more of a physical. The job I had before was physical, but it was more physically demanding. Um, so, there's jobs that are just more physically demanding than other jobs. And then I was going to the gym, and then it's just like, so I was going for like 3-4 months or something, and then I just started to kind of, like, what is the point of this? And I started getting into weed. I started getting, like, depressed. I mean, I wasn't really connecting with anybody. Everyone's off on their own. No women were really interested, and that's where it comes down to, is that that's where all of my motivation really was before. Going to the gym was like, I wanted to be more appeasing to women, and develop confidence, and like I said, going to the gym is fine. It has a lot of health benefits. Not, moving your body, obviously, but you really can just do, if you all you have to do is just do some push-ups and some squats and just walk around, and you you know what I mean, you can basically maintain or whatever. You don't really have to go to the gym, unless you want to develop your body. Like you're not gonna develop your traps. These are specific muscle groups, like these different types of, or on your shoulders, or these different muscle groups on your arms. I mean, if you want to be some big, huge monster, that's one thing, but it's just like these people have nothing going on with their lives, and they want to try to push you into it to try to, it almost feels like the single woman who has a friend that is in a relationship. Let's just say I'm a woman, right? And I have a friend, she's single, and I'm in a relationship I'm content with, and I'm happy with the man. And she's out here partying, sleeping around, going to the nightclubs, but she's doing it by herself. So she's lonely and stuff like that, and then she starts filling my head with oh, he ain't this, he ain't that, because she wants me to break up with the guy, and then so I go out with her. That's what it seems like. It seems like these people are almost like lonely in their own lives, or not content in their own lives, and they have to try to get everyone else. And the problem is since going to the gym is a good thing, when you push back on it, you sound stupid. You know what I mean? But I'm coming from it with the psychology part of it, not the physical and the health part, the psychology part. Like, why am I going to the gym? What's the point? Like, you can sit here and say this, you did this and this and this for yourself, but how does it align with my goals? Going to the gym, you know what I mean? Why do I have to go to the gym to maintain a healthy lifestyle? I don't have to go to the gym. And in fact, when I go to the gym, there's all these women that are all dressed half naked. I just don't want to be around that. I don't want to be around, of course I like looking at women. The women body is a beautiful thing. But that's like an intimate thing. They should be covered up. And they're over there bending over and walking around, and it's just like, I'm a guy. I'm not gonna notice you wearing something going up your ass. I'm not gonna notice that, and it just makes me feel uncomfortable, to be honest. It just doesn't seem appropriate. It really doesn't seem appropriate. For me, I want it to be more playful and fun. There needs to be some kind of purpose besides just me going to the gym. Just to what? The gaining muscle is good. That is good. But to go against like nature and just use straight willpower to go bench press after I just got done working a job that I don't want to do for basic resources. If I didn't have to work jobs I don't like, sure, and I had more time, yeah, of course. When I took a month off of work, this was probably in 2022, where I was working a swing shift job, and it was really taxing on my body, where I would go back and forth every 4 days. They would have me switch my schedule from nights to days, and it was just like, and I drove an hour back and forth to work, so it was really taxing on me. So I took a month off of work, and I didn't have no plan. I was just gonna take whatever basic job, and I took a month off of work, and I was going to the gym for like 5 hours a day. And when I went to the gym, I wouldn't just go like lift weights. I would swim, I would play basketball, I would do other things, I would play. It's it's not fun to me just to go lift weights. There has to be some type of purpose other than just looking good. And that's where I'm trying to get at is like if the whole purpose is just to look good, but I'm a peasant, I'm a slave, and I'm living a slave lifestyle, and I have to use my body to make money, obviously. The last thing I want to do is just go do more repetitive shit that I've been doing. You know what I mean? And you know what else is weird too is like I'm sitting here. You know, one of the things that I've done, and I might be switching things up. I don't know. I'm one of the things about being really aware of things. It makes you kind of feel insane. But I'm sitting here on my weekend off, you know, playing my games and everything like that. And this weekend was probably my first weekend after my new job. And I went to like a family gathering Saturday. Today is Monday in the morning, so um, you know, I'm trying to evaluate: do I like this job? Do I need to keep looking for another job? Am I gonna stay here? Am I? I'm looking at the internet and it's just kind of like, I try to avoid commenting, and I've been making more videos, and I told myself I was gonna, you know, kind of stop making so much content and stop putting so much more into the beast. But it's not that when I leave a comment on Twitter, I don't expect it to be seen. It's more like just like a response, you know, like I feel like I need to say something. I see something wrong and I feel like I need to say something. Even though nobody's gonna see it. And it does get seen. And I kind of like, oh no, I don't want people to see this. I've had that feeling before. It's so weird. Like, you want to be seen, but you know, I'm at the point now where it's like I'm not being seen, which I've accepted it. But there's still something that like I need to say something. You know, like I see something on Twitter, like I need to say because that isn't what it says. There's another side to it. It's not just the way that they're saying it. You know, there's another side to it. It's weird. It's weird. But well, I you know, I'm sitting here this weekend, and I've had this thought too, like I'm having my games go. Like I got my games in the background, and they're still, you know, they're still fun to me. But it's kind of like, that's a little too much. I've been doing it all day. It's going in the background. I'm listening to this stuff. I got to do something else. I need something else going on. And it's not just working out either. There's something else I need to do. What I've done is I'll play my game, and it's like a repetitive game or whatever. I play it on easy because life is really hard for me. And then I got something I'm listening into the background, learning about something like Marcus Aurelius or a documentary or something that is going on socially that people seem like in my algorithm it's more aligned with what I think is happening with society and the struggle that we're facing out here. I got something like that in the back, and it's kind of like I'm getting to the point now where I'm just like, it's old. I think it doesn't. It doesn't do it for me like it used to. Um, you know, it just feels like I need to do something else with my time than sit here all day on the weekends. Just sitting in the same spot where I'm at right now. Either I can be playing in the game or just having it going on and I'm listening. It's just, I feel like maybe it's the human connection, but you know, I don't know what it is. If I could smoke weed, things would be a lot easier for me. If it was cheap, it's pretty expensive. But if I can maintain that life. But even if I did, even if like I just smoked weed all day on my weekends or whatever, I would still feel like it because I was doing that and I still kind of felt the same way where I was like, there's something else I should be doing. You know, I don't really feel like writing lyrics anymore, and it kind of feels like I have to force it. So, you know, I wrote so many songs, so many lyrics. Like when I was young, I wrote probably like from 18 to 20, like a mass amount, and I had a lot of creativity. I'll show you a little. So like, I don't know if you can see this. So here is my room. Like if you can see some of the drawings, and I was like really creative. Here's one of my friends right here. It was like pretty gross, but like if you can see some of my artwork, that's some of my artwork right there. Like that was my artwork I just did. But I had like a ton of creativity at this time. I was making music. I was playing guitar. I was making melodies, writing lyrics. There was an explosion of creativity in that type of form. And then around 2020 to about 2022, something like that, I had so much creativity. I wrote about 200 poems or lyrics, maybe 150. And it just like, it just like came out so easily. And it's like now, yes, I do have struggle. I do have things I'm very angry at. But I don't have the creative out. I don't think it's depression, man, because I'm not really depressed. I'm really not that depressed. Angry, yeah, I'm angry, but it's a weird. I don't know if there's something going on with this timeline or if I'm in a simulation or what is going on, but I don't have the ability like I used to be able to just come out. Even when I was trying to write lyrics down or create some ones that I have created like a year or two ago, it kind of felt forced, man. Like I didn't. I, I think I'm out of the creative spot, and I'm more into. I think I have to like build or something. if I didn't have a job, if I didn't have to go and do something, and I kind of like my job, even though like I don't like to do it, but it does get me away from the screens. I can't look at my screen. The job I had before this at the corn mill, I would spend a lot of my time on the screen, to be honest. A lot of my time. I would do my daily tasks, and I would do more work than the average worker there. Like, I would just go and start, I would clean more than I really had to. I would just get up, and I was tired to look at my screen or the internet, and I would just go and start doing something. I would just start pushing a broom, go cleaning something. We had to make it somewhat clean, but it was like, I'm kind of tired of this. Like, I think I probably spend a good out of the 12 hours usually. Man, out of the 12 hours, I probably spend a good at least half my time on screens. Whether it was looking at the computer screen, making sure that the mail was running right, or my screen. And I think we're getting to the point where we're getting screened out. That's what I think. Maybe we need the void a little bit. Maybe I think that like we've had constant distraction from the void. The void is boredom. That now it's just like you can only consume so much, unless like that's your personality, but it's like this. Okay, you know how everything nowadays is repetition, same thing over and over. When I was growing up in the 90s, there was always like a new movie, a different type of movie coming out. Now it's like the same thing, same, like a different type of video game. There's all different types of video games coming out, all different types of music, different types of bands, and now it's like new TV shows that were like really cool. The sports was like really creative, like the like all of his different types of dunks, like Vince Carter putting his arm in the Allen Iverson doing the cross. So it was just like so creative. And then now it just seems like everything's neatly tight in a little box, and like AI slop. People don't like AI slop. And this is why I say you need a balance of the screens and without the screens. I think the screens it has rewired our brains so we always, instead of working for our dopamine rush back in the day, I think that's what kind of like the gym is somewhat, but it's more of a long-term thing. We need like a long-term gratification thing, and we need something short-term, like now. Like, I need to see results now from it. We need a little bit of both. And I think that we always feel like we're working. We always feel like we're on a treadmill. If we're not at work, we're scrolling. We're always, you know what I mean? TV and movies just don't do it for me anymore. I was watching The Gladiator, just an old movie last night, which it was and I didn't watch the whole thing because I'm sitting there on my phone too. So I have my phone right here, looking at, Twitter or whatever. And it's like too much. It seems like we have too much stimulation. We need less. And maybe that's why I don't have the creative ability, because I'm constantly avoiding the void. Marijuana has helped me with my creativity. It does give me ideas. And I don't have that anymore. And maybe that's like going through the rewiring process right now too, like what I'm going through with a creativity type of block, or things just don't seem as fun as they were. You're kind of like, what's next? I don't feel like we really have that anymore. I don't feel like it's like, what's next? It's just like, I think that nowadays the look is on point. I think that the superficial, the look is the best it's ever been in my lifetime. Whether it's these NBA players with the accessories they wear, or the women having, like, they make themselves look absolutely phenomenal, like the perfect shape of their like hips and their thighs and everything like that is just so appealing. What people, what they wear and everything like that. But it's lack of substance. I watched a little clip. I don't watch WWE anymore, but I seen a little clip that somebody shared on Twitter, and they had like these two good-looking women. They're doing their little they're wrestling or whatever. I always thought, like, when the women wrestled, it was like a cute little gimmick, and it's kind of like they're trying to push it now or something, where women, like, I really don't care about watching women wrestle. I really don't care. It was like a cute little gimmick, like in between the guys' matches, but now it's like, I don't know. I'm not saying like they're not athletic. They're way more athletic. They're way more skilled than they used to be. But I've noticed. I've noticed that the mic skills are horrible. It just seems phony when it seemed. And I know, looking back at The Rock and Stone Cold, that stuff was scripted. It's all scripted, but it was more like authentic. It was more like they were in their character, when now it seems like these people are just trying to act a character that they haven't even like really contributed themselves. And I think that a lot of these wrestlers back in the day contributed more to their characters that they created. I think they helped create. Maybe they didn't. I don't know behind the scenes. But I think that they were more influential with the character creation, with the WWE and everything. So they came across as more authentic than they do now. I think that a lot of these characters that they probably, and they probably did it back then, but these people are trying to go into a character that is given to them more, so they don't really embrace it as much, or it doesn't come across as authentic, because it really isn't their creation. That's how it feels with everything, though. It feels like everything's kind of phony and scripted, and then we're all just trying. It just seems like whether it's politics or it comes across as scripted, and it makes me wonder if I'm in a simulation and I'm too awake and it's always been like this, and I see behind the curtain now, or AGI has actually taken over behind the scenes. And when you have someone like Dan Bongino coming out here, oh boo boo boo, and then into government, and then he retires after a year, and then he comes back out here oh, the system. Like, dude, you were in the system. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you have to complain about now? Like, you were in there. You could have actually done something, but like, you're out here. That's why I look at these people. I just feel like they're like a bunch of phonies, man. A lot of these influencers are just fake, and everything just seems so. I think everything it all feels like AI slop. Even when it's like an authentic person, it feels like it's AI slop. It doesn't feel authentic. And maybe that's why I struggle so much on social media, and I have, because I'm really authentic, and all these people who are popular and famous really aren't. They're just following a script. That might be it. But maybe I'm just untalented and I suck. That could be too. I don't know. But it really just feels different. Like it. I don't think it has to do with my age. I really don't. Um, I also think that the opposite sex not really being too interested in me has a lot to do with it as well. When it comes to like my motivation, because I am perceptive. I'm very perceptive. I read people extremely well. I can tell when women are interested in me and when they're not, and or people in general. And a lot of women just, I don't know what they want. I, I think that, so I don't really approach them at all. I don't really, I give them tons of space, and it's almost like that's bad. Because it's like I don't want to be like all the other guys that are just like up their ass. You know what I mean? It's like I give them a time to come, and it's just like they don't. So, um, and yeah, look at me. I know. I don't look appealing right now. I know. Um, because I kind of just have kind of given up, to be honest. I mean, I've already had my kids. I don't. Young women don't appeal to me because like I I'm not trying to impress anybody anymore. You know what I mean? I'm really starting. I feel like when I was younger, I was trying to impress everybody else. I was trying to fit in this type of. I wasn't really being my authentic self. I was afraid to be myself. And maybe myself is just, being an introvert. That's my authentic self, is just at this point, and back then it was. And, you know, that's not my problem if people don't like it. I just don't feel. I could put it on a performance if I feel like it. I can be engaged if I feel like it, but it has to. uh, If it's something I don't care about, I'm not gonna sit here and just talk to hear myself talk. I'm not like that. Um, I want to talk about in depth things, and most people just don't. It's all superficial. So, yeah, I'm at the point where I don't think that with my experience with women, which I've had a lot of experience with women, not so much nowadays, but I have in the past. Um, I'm heavily guarded, especially now, and I don't want to be. I wish it wasn't like this. I feel like everyone has their guard up, so I have to have my guard up. And if a woman was to come in my life, I don't think that she would be able to handle. She'd be able to handle me. I don't think that she, I don't think that most of these women will be able to handle me long term. Because I'm not going to always have my A game. Sometimes I'm just going to want to be by myself, I want my space. I don't want to go and do everything all the time. I want to relax. Sometimes I want to do stuff for sure, but it's like, sometimes I just want to hang out and, just chill. I don't always have to be doing stuff all the time. And I think that's part of the reason why I've just pretty much given up, because the expectations of women are just like, it's just too much work. I just don't want to do it. I just don't feel, and it's just not really worth it. It's not worth. I just don't think that they can handle me long term. That's what I think. Because most of my interactions with women have been me being somebody else. Me being, oh, be yourself. No, if I was myself, they would have nothing to do with me. So pretty much all the interactions with women I've had in my life, which I've had a lot, I've been on a lot of dates. I have a high body count. It's been because I pretended to be somebody else. I'm not always confident. My confidence comes and goes, and that's where I was listening to this video, and people trust people even if I'm an expert in something, right? I'm an expert in a certain area. And people know this. I got the degrees and I got the certificates or whatever. And maybe I have like a big body of work showing like, oh. But if I don't come across as confident when I'm talking about the subject, people will not respect me as much as somebody who doesn't know as much, but they're really confident in how they talk. They're going to respect them and they're going to follow them over me. And the lack of confidence, second guessing yourself, is actually a sign of intelligence, because we don't know everything. And you say something, you might be certain about something. It's just like, then it comes out and it's like, wait, I didn't think about it from this other side. So then it's like, because like you're intelligent to think like, wait, maybe I don't have it all the way right. Wait, maybe that isn't all the way it really. Maybe there is and it comes across as a lack of confidence. But this other person who has a surface level, basically somebody like me, but more confidence. Like they always feel confident in no matter what, even if they're proven wrong. They still seem as like they're confident. It's like, you're going to trust them more than you're going to trust me, because I seem like, he doesn't seem like he really, even though he's an expert in this, he knows what he's talking about. This other guy seems more confident, so we're going to follow him. And that's what people follow, the confidence. Even if the guy he doesn't know anything really, like he doesn't know too much about this subject or whatever, they'll still follow him because he has that. And I think it has something to do with like evolution, like leadership and stuff like that. People are naturally followers, so they don't it's just like in our evolution, I think, being a human. And then that's why I say most women are just followers, and they like, women like confident men because they are naturally followers. So I think that I've been listening to like some of these really highly intelligent people who were very isolated, very intelligent, like some, and they had success, but they didn't as well. I was listening. Who was the one I was listening to? Was it Sir Isaac Newton? Damn, who was it? That one didn't really garner my attention. This other one did that I was listening to, like a biography this weekend. Nietzsche. So he wrote a book, and he thought it was gonna blow up. You know what I mean? And I think he actually used some of his actual funds to try to push it because they didn't want to. But he thought it was really, and it probably was a great book, and it only had like 65 copies sold or whatever back then, and he was really disappointed. And now he's ultra famous. It makes you wonder some of these highly intelligent people, like Nikola Tesla. He struggled with social interaction, you know. People because to be intelligent is to question everything, basically, even yourself. Question your own. I think most people are conscious, but they're not conscious. They're conscious enough, but to be totally conscious. And I'm not trying to sit out here saying like, oh, I'm better than ever. No, I'm just a regular person, man. I just think that it's not that I think that anybody can have what I have, honestly. I just think that they've closed themselves off. And I haven't. When it comes to the aware, I don't have a high IQ. My IQ's, it doesn't matter. It's a little. I'm not gonna sit here and try to. It's whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and try to brag or anything like that. But anyway, it's obviously not really low. That's all I gotta say. It's obviously not like 65, but whatever skills I have, because I've seen it in my own personal life, other people have as well. And this is why I feel like when I was younger, I didn't feel like that. Like my creativity was kind of like, but my creativity now is like about a little bit better than the average person, I think. As opposed before, it was kind of like the average person, and I felt like my creativity is below them. I think that the screens have really. I think the void is good, but not too much. Balance. Like that one guy that just sits here and I don't know which one it was. That statue of the guy just sitting here thinking. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm sure if you've made it this far, you'll understand what I'm trying to get at. Yeah.